November 3rd, of course, was Election Day, and there's been many things happening since then. But that night I took my camera into the Republican Party and interviewed some people and got a little bit of their take on what was going on and their feelings about the election. That all went well, and Trump was looking good that night, and then we went to bed and things went awry a little bit. But we're going to be listening to some of the people at the Republican Party, and then we'll come back and then we'll get a take on really what this thing with Biden and Trump and where we actually think it's going, because I don't think it's over yet. Okay, it's Tuesday, election night, November 3rd, and we're at the election night party with the Republicans. David Hale, he's the chairman of the Republican Party through this party together. So, hi.
Hey.
What are we looking for tonight?
Well, we're looking for Trump to win. We're also looking for local candidates to win. And we're hoping.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. So.
Looking at the ballot measures, and so are there any results right now?
There's no results yet.
It's like 8 o'clock.
Yeah, we don't have results yet.
Okay.
I'm more concerned with our local people that are running, like Chris Chenoweth and Nick Marais and Brittany Ruse, among others. We really want to get the local people elected. That's where I feel really strongly about it. So.
Number one, Trump.
Yep, number one, Trump.
And number two, yeah, our local politicians.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, doing pretty good. So, you excited to be here?
I'm very excited. I believe Trump is going to be a landslide. I believe that he's going to win.
Yeah.
He stands for our Second Amendment. He's for cutting taxes. He has the ability to rebuild our economy even stronger than it was before. Joe Biden is wanting to tax the rich, which that automatically goes down to the smaller people like you and me. It causes our taxes to go up. It doesn't just tax the rich, it taxes everybody, and Trump's totally against that.
Yeah. He also seems to love the Chinese more than he does America, or loves his family, loves his pocketbook more than he does America. You know, you got to be a servant of the people to be in office and to be effective.
I believe that Trump, being raised in the United States of America and his ability to run corporations, that's why he brought in Rex Tillerson. He was the CEO of Chevron. He retired, and he brought him to rebuild our oil industry. That's why we are oil independent now. We have the ability now to create more jobs in fracking. Some people say it's bad because they want the Green New Deal. All that's going to destroy is millions and millions of jobs. I spoke with my son, and he tells me, you know, Dad, it's a good thing, but it's going to kill jobs. We'll create a different job. And I said, that's too late. When you kill that many jobs from taking out fracking or taking out the oil industry because you want a couple little swingers, and that's not good for our economy.
Well, the Green Deal, the new Green Deal is going to favor China once
Correct.
Again. So, you know, all this Russia collusion that turned out to be false, and we, you know, most of us knew that.
Correct.
But we really have true Chinese collusion. So if Biden does happen to pull this off, it'll be all because of China, in my opinion.
I kind of think, this is just my opinion, what I see is that we know that the communist countries want to rule the world. It's like playing the game Risk. What do you do in that game, and how do you conquer the world? We know that Putin and China want to conquer the world through communism, and socialism is the same thing as communism. When you look at Venezuela, when they took their guns, and I believe it was 2012, they used a brand new appliance thing for them, so they would turn in their guns. And we know that Joe Biden is not for our Second Amendment. We know President Trump backs our Second Amendment. I have 4 criteria of what I look at to vote for. 1 is, do they back the Second Amendment? 2, where do they stand on taxes? 3, where do they stand on abortion? And number 4, where do they stand on the Constitution and the Bill of Rights? I do not take them for what flavor of religion they drink. I don't care what religion you are, but your most important thing is our Second Amendment. Why is our Second Amendment so important to you and to me? To me it is because there was a time, it was 1890, December 23rd, 1890, when the Second Amendment was taken from the Lakota Indians, and there was a thing called the Wounded Knee Massacre. That's when the 7th Cavalry took all the guns from those Indians and slaughtered them. Our Second Amendment should be the first choice and pick when you're picking somebody out to vote for.
Right.
That's why I love President Trump.
Right. Many reasons why I love him. So, I heard him called the blue-collar billionaire.
Yeah.
Blue-collar billionaire. It means the rich man and the common people throughout his work career
He didn't.
really liked him.
President Trump, he didn't have to do what he did. He was already a billionaire. He
Right.
doesn't even take a paycheck. He probably uses it for a tax write-off, but he gives the money to help individuals in certain parts of the government or whatever it is, help with the vaccine, rebuild our veteran memorial. I never seen Obama do that. I never seen Obama give back. Trump, all he does is give. He's a mega billionaire. He didn't have to do this. He had a better life, and all he's done is through scrutiny, the progressive movement, the hatred. Even in McMinnville, there's a split here. They blame it us on the Republicans, but it's the progressive movement that starts attacking, and our governor does nothing about it. They just attack and attack, and they put us down, and we have to fight back. To me, not fight back physically, but by our votes. Our votes is the most important, and that's how we fight back, is by our votes.
Yeah. And if we can't get honest media, we can't get true votes, because the dishonest media just creates uninformed voters.
That is correct. And when you have CBS, NBC, and all this news organization who is backed and bought by the Democrats, not the Conservative Party, that
Right.
they back people that they specifically use to manipulate people, and they've proven it. I can't remember, it was like in the 50s when they started manipulating people through, it won't, because I'm kind of nervous, but what do they call that when they were starting to use TV and learning that they had the ability to make people change their mind?
TV programming.
Yeah, TV, the programming, and then they know whatever they pump through the television, people will start believing it by so many. If all these news organizations say the same thing, they say, oh, they can't lie.
Right.
And it's the truth, and it's what it is. It's the same thing. We were talking over there, my sister and my wife, we were talking about a state being taken over, and I said, that's the same thing they did with Hillary Clinton. They did the exact same thing. Oh, she won Texas. I can't remember what state it was. And then all of a sudden, Trump takes Texas. And they were trying to manipulate us, not for us to vote. And they're hoping that we didn't get out and vote.
Why did you vote for Trump?
Well, he's shares my position on most issues. I also would rather he was the one selecting Supreme Court justices. I think his picks have been good picks. I think it's a shame that people are having trouble accepting that, the president picks fills every vacancy that happens during his entire term. They certainly didn't seem to have an objection to Obama filling near the end of his first term, second term. It'd be nice if people could accept that Trump nominees. I'd like to see him. I'd like to see a guarantee that we don't get court packing. That it's 9. And it's not artificially more or less because somebody wanted to control the court in that way.
Yeah, I hope they can come up with some rules to avoid court packing in the future, if there's any way to do that.
Yeah, because the honor system only works as long as everyone has honor. That one, we saw what happened with George Washington's tradition of 2 terms, and FDR didn't feel like leaving after 2 terms and letting someone else run. So hopefully we don't see, FDR also wanted to back the court, so hopefully we don't see that become an issue that we have to actually make an amendment against packing the courts.
Do you think Trump is honest?
Oh yeah, I think he's honest. And you interpret some what people are saying as just being hyperbole. It doesn't seem like it. He seems like he's actually done what he said. To the extent he said he would do it. Doesn't seem like an exaggeration. I mean, some things. Some things were a little bit optimistic, but it's been closer than any president, probably I'd say in my lifetime, in terms of actually following through on what he said.
He had a lot of challenges with the Democrats constantly coming against him, either making stuff up or embellishing. I would say lying. I mean, if I want to be nice, coming after him. It's been one thing after another to stop any agenda that he had.
Oh yeah. It's been unfortunate that they wanted to hold up relief packages just to make a point and try and, put all kinds of riders on everything, it's like all kinds of really poison pill type of issues that they knew that, everyone wanted relief packages. They wanted them, they just wanted to use them as a vehicle to get everything else they wanted passed. And they weren't prepared to protect businesses or individuals unless Republicans were willing to cave on everything they wanted.
Yep. So if there's a second term, you think the Democrats and the media will get the message? You think they'll start quieting down and you can start doing things, maybe indicting the wrong people that shouldn't be there?
Well, I would have hoped it would have happened by now, actually, but I hope whatever happens is decisive enough that it kind of humbles some of the real loudmouths and the agitators. That would be a beneficial outcome. I'd really like to see Republicans gain control of the House. At least Pelosi wouldn't be Speaker for a while that way. And it would prevent the gridlock that we've seen some of the time that's created a lot of uncertainty for businesses and so forth.
Yep.
And we are sick and tired of what's going on in our state, in our county, in our city. I've learned that we've been infiltrated. I was talked to with Timber Unity, and they said once they took over the state, their goal was to infiltrate us through our county, through our city, and through our school boards, that they can push their agenda on us and that they would have control. I had a big farmer tell me, I won't mention his name, he said, Jimmy, we've been sound asleep. And they've come into a conservative county, and we have people that ran in conservative positions that are conservative.
Right.
They are I call them rhinos. Mm-hmm. And rhino, if everybody doesn't know what a rhino stands for, it's just a Republican in name only. It's RINO, Republican in name only. And to me, that's what it's all about. We need to expose these rhinos. We need to come back in these, what are they called, nonpartisan positions that we have. I hate nonpartisan races because we have people that are running that aren't telling us what they stand for. They do not want us to know that they're progressives. They want to get our Republican vote, and they want to get in there. They want to create taxes. Our small businesses are dying in McMinnville. We have 6 open businesses going down 3rd Street. There's actually 8. 2 of them are being worked on, but I've never seen in the history of me living here in McMinnville, I was born and raised here. My mom ran McMinnville Hospital OR since 1958 to 1999 when she retired. I've been here all my life, and I'm sick and tired of these nonpartisan races because they're taxing our small businesses and they're dying. I know COVID-19 is killing us, but what really killing us is all these taxes that the city officials are putting on us, and they can't handle it. You go down 3rd, you'll see 6 open shops, and to me 3rd Street is 2nd and 4th are parking lots, and 3rd Street is, if you look a little bit this way, when you're walking down 3rd, you'll see businesses. You'll see 6 open businesses. What's going on? We just lost Izzy's Pizza.
Yeah.
That was Shakey's before that, and I grew up with the Amisons. I know Kurt Amison that put up the sign, and they can't survive under this. We lost Pizza Hut, and there was another business coming down Baker just closed. How many more businesses is it going to take for us to say, hey, enough is enough?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I hope that it ends with something that doesn't lead to too much rioting. I hope people can, calm down afterward. I hope it's I really like a clear Trump victory, by hoping one way or another people can just accept that,
Accept the results,
rioting will not help anything. Of course, that might be, at this point, they're already rioting. Yeah, they're a little optimistic, but we can hope. We can hope for peace, for some acceptance on some things, you know.
Okay. If Biden pulls it off, which I don't think he will.
Well, I don't know any Republicans. Yeah, I don't know any Republicans who are ready to do anything aggressive.
Yeah.
No, like,
And stuff like that, yeah.
yeah, well, it doesn't help anything. That we're mostly just upset that our businesses are going to go away. So why burn them down if if Biden's taking them away anyway? You know?
Yeah. Okay, if you watch the mainstream media and you're a Trump supporter, you are probably extremely discouraged right now and even very angry and fearful. But there are other voices other than the mainstream media, and one such voice is, of course, the voice of God, who speaks through people prophetically, in dreams sometimes. And so there were many, many such voices pre-election saying just about the same thing, and that there would be some chaos going on, and eventually it's all going to work out. And I think that when we take a look at where this is going, I think we're actually going to be surprised. So I'm going to have you watch a clip of Dana Coverstone. I would encourage you to go to his YouTube channel and listen to more. But this is just a little clip of kind of, I think, where we're at right now.
Then I saw a Conestoga wagon. Think Little House on the Prairie. And Kamala Harris was driving that wagon. It was led by 2 mules. And Joe Biden was not sitting with Kamala Harris. Joe Biden was riding on one of the mules on the left, on the far left, so to speak. And at her side, there was a mechanical box that would trigger dynamite, like you would see in the Wile E. Coyote movies, you know, or cartoons where they push down and it blows up. It was in an upright position, though, like the trigger. And then the wind started blowing the wagon covering back, and it revealed several cases of like what I would consider to be Civil War type cases of dynamite, that era, the late 1800s, 1860s, 1870s. And most of it was in cases, stamped dynamite. There were some loose ones in an open wicker basket, which didn't fit the timeline, but it was there. And Harris began to whip the mules, and with the whip, and she was hitting Joe Biden as well, but Biden had no idea he was being whipped. He was not aware of what was happening. And the mules started moving and picking up speed. They were heading towards a target. And this is where I saw Hillary Clinton was standing behind President Trump. President Trump was on his knees. And she was wearing like a Wilma Flintstone dress. There were patches where it had not been finished yet. It wasn't seamed up. It wasn't sealed up. The collar wasn't on. There were like little strings just hanging all over the place. It wasn't finished. It wasn't actually ready to be worn, I guess, for prime time or what she was doing. It was very ugly, and she had this gaudy ring on her index finger. It looked like it had blood on it. She had the skeleton key hanging from her neck, and it was dangling. And she had Donald Trump he was on his knees, and she had a Roman gladius knife to the left side. It was the left side of his throat, holding his head back like that. And the skeleton key was dangling in front of his face. And the skeleton key looked like it had blood and black mold all over it. And where it had leaned down, where it was banging against the front of her shirt, it looked like it left like a Nazi symbol. The stormtroopers, the Nazi SS had almost like the lightning signal, the lightning strike, the double pane of lightning. That's what it looked like on the front of her shirt. I'm not saying she's a Nazi. I'm just saying that symbol was on her shirt, and it was like just tainted, stained, black, red, ugly, gaudy. And the wagon starts picking up speed, and they're headed towards this. You know, Hillary Clinton's holding Donald Trump, and Hillary's face was giddy. But next to her leg, there was like an animal trap. A large, like a bear trap. And suddenly Trump grabs the key and he pulls it down like this. Well, he grabbed it with his left hand. When she came down, he brought his right hand up and hit her in the face, in the chin. When she did that, she dropped the knife and she stepped back. And the president began to run off quickly. Well, then she steps into the trap. And she's trying to get out, and she's trying to pick up the knife, and she can't lean over, she can't get the trap, she can't get the knife. And as the president runs, he's running towards the beast, which is the car he is usually in. I hear 3 gunshots, and they're handgun shots. This is not a shotgun or a rifle. This is a handgun shot. I hear 3 shots fired. And out of nowhere, I see 3 different, and it happens like there's one shot, then another, then another. But as Trump is running to the beast, a Secret Service agent jumps in front and gets one of the bullets, and then rolls to the ground. Trump keeps running. The second shot's fired. Another Secret Service agent jumps in front of Trump and takes the shot and hits the ground. And then the third Secret Service agent jumps in front of the third bullet that comes at him. And then he gets into the beast. At that moment, what I saw was the Secret Service agents were around the beast, but instead of normal, modern, traditional AR-15s or guns, they had muskets. But the other thing I noticed in the dream, that none of them were wearing glasses. Most Secret Service agents that I've always seen have always had sunglasses, and I noticed in the dream they're all standing around the car looking out with the muskets like this. Nobody has it like this. They've got the muskets up, and they're watching, and they're looking around. They're surrounding the car, looking out from the car. The car is moving slowly, and they're moving with the car. So those are the things I'm seeing now. Hillary tried to pull her leg away. She couldn't. And finally the wagon struck her. There was just a huge explosion. And in the explosion, it threw the carcasses of the mules up on top of the building rubble. And the smoke was coming off them like they'd been grilled or something. Biden was laying face down in the middle of the street, and he had wheel tracks over the back of him. And there was a vulture sitting on his head. And I'm not trying to make fun. I'm not trying to disrespect anyone in political leadership at this moment. Those that know me know how I feel about certain people in leadership, but I still pray for these people. Harris was crying in disbelief, and her tears looked like they were the size of quarters. It was almost like she was crying quarters. The tears were as big as quarters, and it appeared like they looked like quarters coming out of her eyes. There was a huge hole in the ground. Buildings were collapsed. And then I saw the church. There was a separation line. And there was no middle ground. No middle ground left. As the sides literally, but I guess in the dream, at this time of the dream, sides had to have been taken. There was fire on the altars in the churches around the nation. And the fire moved on the heads of people who had been praying. And above the heads of many people in the church, I saw an actual question mark symbol above their head. And they appeared confused by what they were seeing in the world in the church. And I heard a voice say, "Those who refuse to get ready will be wanting in the end. So brace yourself and tell others that I have warned them to brace themselves, for they are about to see even more shocking things."
Okay, so no matter what happens, the thing to remember, no matter where we go, left or right, we've got to remember God is in control. And if we can trust in Him, things will work out every time. So whether it's difficulty or not, we might be in for a ride for a while, but just trust in God and talk with Him and let Him soothe your soul. And have a good week. Bye-bye. Inspiration.
Arts and crafts.
Health and wellness.
Communication and information.
We're here to encourage and inspire you.
You have a gift? We know you do.
And so do we. Whether you come in to look by or want to promote your gift, we invite you to come in, because when we're working together, we can accomplish great things.
We the generation, the world is ready for. One love, together we can make it. Let's join our hands together as we share with one another. Black or white, together we can make it. Come to the celebration as we bring our love together. One love.
I just started taking colloidal silver this winter regularly. My energy level is better than it has been in years. My typical winter cold was minimal, lasting 2 days instead of evolving into bronchitis as my colds have been prone to do.
How old is this earth anyway? Well, the Bible dates that up about 6,000. Textbook says it's billions. Somebody is wrong.